Our board goes through a very systematic process in looking at budget. We usually have an FYI session where the directors and management come together before the budget approval to ask all the questions and to go through that budget and to look at how that's going to impact our strategic plan. We are looking at the major capital projects, where they are, how the funding is for those, what new projects are coming forward, and also what kind of appetite do we have for risk. We're hearing things from members about our technology and our perhaps IT strategy going into next year. What do we need to allocate from that? So there's a long conversation that happens with that, and then that's ratified at the last Board of Directors meeting and approved. Well, the member linking meetings were the best attended this year of any other years, and that was absolutely fabulous to get that kind of feedback. So the three big areas that came up were MLS, were technology, mobile technologies, as well as data and education. You know, we definitely understand what members are saying around education, so we're moving forward on the transformative education front, working with BCREA, but understanding that members want competency-based education. They want education that's relevant to them. So we're looking at how that relates to our segmentation and the various types of members that we have. Members should see a new mobile platform that's coming out that isn't a curio. It isn't a skin over top of it that isn't. This is a full-fledged mobile solution. But how do we implement multiple strategies, perhaps multiple platforms for members? How do we go about in creating an IT strategy that might have faster iterations for members so that you're feeling an enterprise solution or a single solution or a pay-as-you-go solution that might solve those problems? So we're conscious of that, and that's moving forward into the next year. And then when we're looking at MLS, how do we have discussions around Realtor 2.0? How do we stay ahead of the curve on understanding property values, city planning issues, zoning, and pulling that data together in a platform, which also requires fairly significant investment and time into relationships that we don't necessarily have readily available today. So we're doing that in iterative steps, and that's a big part of that conversation.
How was the breakfast at the member breakfast?
The breakfast was absolutely fabulous. We had so many members said that one of the best values they get is the breakfast that the board provides, which I thought was quite fascinating. But realtors value their meals, so it's definitely a takeaway. So one of the decisions we looked at was changing the name of the current presidents and vice presidents of divisions to add clarity to their roles and responsibilities. Right now at the board, we have lots of presidents, we have lots of vice presidents, and we want to make sure that the governance structure and the nomenclature actually reflects what is true and real. So we passed a motion that would change presidents to chairs and vice presidents to vice chairs of those divisions. And that will be something that will be coming to the AGM for ratification by the members. It was brought forward by the North Shore division and one of the directors that we have on the board to look at perhaps how the election process in the North Shore Sea to Sky is being handled. Obviously we have a large geography there, and there was some issues with members coming to election and candidates being designated from certain areas. And so the board shied a little bit away from getting back to a regional model when we're trying to move in a different direction for the entire organization, but it is a concern. So we put that back to the governance committee to look at that and see how we can facilitate the election process on the North Shore Sea to Sky division.